Hello, Joltier. I'm going to do a VOD review of your support gameplay here on Rialto. This is 2900 SR support, and you're trying to get your last 100 SR to diamond. Okay, so you're on Rialto, you're on defense, and you are playing Zenyatta. Door's about to open here pretty soon, and I'm noticing that you're kind of like over here a little bit. Not really kind of where I'd expect you to be, which is right here at this little doorway. Once the counter hits to 0 here, you want to start charging a 5 orb or get one ready because you expect that someone might be peeking their head right out this little way right here. And if they do, then you want to have just a quick sight line on them. And from here, and this is perfect natural cover. You get your 5 orb, you slam them right there. Where you don't want to be is out here in the middle of garden. You do not want to be here. So this definitely is not like prepared, and you don't seem to be making any sort of haste to take this angle over here, or to be maybe up here, for example. It's definitely like you just want to play in this garden area. It's very passive for Zen to play just in the open main here. Okay, now we're going a little bit deeper here. We're going to throw some shots at walls. Then you're going to see the ball coming up. You discord the ball. Kind of you're still in the middle of main. And you're going to immediately take your eyes off of the ball. I wouldn't actually take your eyes off of the ball here. So because of the position you're in right now, it's not ideal. But I think that I'd be wanting to back into this room here. Because one thing I'm kind of afraid of is this ball. This ball is going to be a problem. So you see where the ball is right now. He's across that wall. Now, you should know that, but you aren't really looking at him. You're not really giving him a whole lot of attention right now. Excuse me, sorry. So I'd be in here because the next play the ball is going to make for sure is he's going to try to do some sort of swing and slam onto your back line about right here as his team pushes in. That's the enemy team's play. It's pretty obvious. In order to stop him from doing that, you have to mark him. What I mean by marking him is just paying attention to him and being ready for whatever play he's going to make and just knowing where he is and what he's going to do. How do you do that? Well, you can still play this position, but if you're tucked in here like I'm suggesting, then you get to shoot bullets here and peek. Shoot bullets, peek, right? And you get to know information, right? Instead of that, we're not really paying attention, and now we're kind of in the open. This is pretty susceptible. See, like if you were inside this room, as I was suggesting, then as he goes for the slam, you can kind of tuck back into this room and he's not going to hit you for the slam. But in here, you're really like out in the middle of open space, and you don't want to be here. You want to be near a corner. You need to be near natural cover. If you do want to play in the middle of a garden, then I definitely recommend playing next to these garden things here, these little shrubs, because these are great cover, right? You can kind of shoot here, cover here. You can crouch, shoot on this side, shoot on this side. You can come back if you want here. You can shoot this side, and then you can kind of wide shoot this side a little bit. But you can see how at least you have cover if you were back here. This, I would honestly have trouble finding a worse position. So ball's back there still. You have a mark of the Discord. You're paying a little bit of attention. Okay, some attention is being played towards the ball there. Now you got a tracer on you. Definitely looking to back up here. The Widow just being down main there. Pretty rough. Now you know they have a Widow at least. You know they're on tracer. You know they're on ball. Okay, so you're going to swap to Brig here, and I'm imagining it's just because they're playing these dive heroes like Tracer and Ball, and it doesn't seem great to play the Zenyatta into the Tracer and the Ball, and I agree with you. Very little peel coming from your team here. They're not going to help you with those, and so you're a liability playing the Zen, and so you switch to Brig. I think it's a good switch. Okay, keeping your team alive, or I'm just keeping your team behind your shield is kind of nice here. What was that, though? Go back a second. I want you to watch yourself do this whip shot. Ask yourself why. That was really weird. Okay. We have whip. We want to whip this ball. It's a nice bash. We're going to push the ball away. Good. You almost fell off the side there. Okay. Now, you have your whip shot again. What you're looking to do with the whip shot is to get the ball out of his rollout. So he's going to go for some sort of rollout here, and you want to boop him. That's just kind of the idea. If the ball is not available to boop and you're marking him and you know he's just kind of like not going to make a play for a second, then go ahead and just whip shot somebody else. Because it is only a 4-second cooldown. It does proc Inspire. Inspire does heal all teammates within 20 meters by 15 healing per second for the next 6 seconds. Does not stack. It resets on new proc. And it doesn't stop if you die. So it's a great little ability. And again, it's 20 meters. That's much bigger than, say, for example, Lucio. Lucio only a 12-meter radius around him. Brig has a 20-meter radius with Inspire. Okay. All right, you see the ball. Now, what's the ball going to do next? Ball just went around this way. You saw him go out here. So you know he's going to try to do a hit right here, right? So as soon as you see that, as soon as you see the ball roll outside this door, okay, your next play is to mark the ball, come around back around this side, and as he's going to come towards you, you boop the ball, all right? In this scenario, had you have gotten that boop, all right, you would have booped him back to about here. And then if he were to have released the grapple, then he doesn't have a play anymore. If he doesn't release the grapple, then it's possible that he could get another pendulum and come back. But by the time he does that, you can already call that out to your team. Okay, so the game has moved on a little bit. And because you didn't mark the ball, he was able to easily just put a minefield right on the back of your team. Yeah. So marking the ball, very important. Even if it means even if it makes it feel like you're not doing so much in the game, marking the ball, super important. Super de-duper-de important to mark the ball. Okay. Okay, we're staying on the brig. Team's kind of dying here. In this scenario, I'd wait for more regroups because 2 people just died. You lost your Rhine and you lost your soldier. So I wouldn't go much past right here. What I would do is I'd hold my shield right here on the wall and use a third-person perspective to just keep an eye on what kind of stuff's going on up there. You don't want to push out any further than this, just because there's no reason to. You're just going to isolate yourself and die to the people that punish isolations, which include Tracer and Ball. Okay. All right, good. So you recognize that you want to stay with your team here. You see your Ana coming out. Your Winston is kind of feeding. Good proc. Okay. Ball's in that room now. I see. Okay, I see you went for that 180 spin, and you weren't quite able to get a 180 in one turn. I'm gonna watch this in slow motion. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, we're gonna watch this in slow motion. I just want you to look at your mouse movement here. Okay, so Tracer's gonna come out here and she's gonna yeet a bomb past you. All right, and this is gonna trigger you to do a 180. Here's a 180. That was a full rotation of your mouse pad, and that was the other full rotation. So you picked your mouse up and you put it back on the mouse pad, and you moved it again. Okay. You need to be able to swipe 180 degrees in one go. You need a mouse pad and a mouse setting specifically that allows you to do a 180 in one go. You cannot afford to do a 2-swipe 180. You can't like swipe. That's not going to cut it. So that's something to think about. Especially with Brig vs Tracer. And one thing I'll say is that a lot of times Brig v Tracer, Tracer will blink behind you, and you need to have their 180 shield bash ready. That's kind of a move that you need to know and need to do to outplay Tracers. Or 180 whip shots. It just can't be that slow. You know what I mean? Okay, here's the ball. Again, we're marking the ball. We're whipping him into the building. I like that. It's a good play. There's a perfect example. Watch this. All right, so you whip the ball into the room. You're really low health. Okay, we're going really slow here, right? Tracer blinks behind. Now watch your reaction to this. This should be, you see the Tracer blink behind. This should be a 180 stun from behind. Turn. Stop. You stopped your turn here because you ran out of mouse pad. And then she got you. But if you had the sensitivity to do, and you had your 180s down, then you could have 180 shield bash. And not only would you not have died, but I guess that had no point. It's no other point than that. It's just you wouldn't have died. And that's a big deal. Okay. All right, we're still on the Moira. We're still on the Brig. We're going to throw some pack over here at Ryan. You blow all 3 packs. Okay, that's not good. When you throw a pack, you understand that what it is, it's 2 seconds of Mercy heal. So Mercy, you think about how much Mercy heals, 55 per second on her yellow beam, at least when she's not in Valk. Well, when you throw a pack at somebody, it's 55 per second for 2 seconds. So it's the equivalent of getting pocketed by a Mercy for 2 seconds. However, when you throw 3 packs on somebody, it doesn't give him 3 Mercy beams. It just gives him that beam for 6 seconds instead of 2 seconds. That's why you kind of want to throw 1 pack and then reevaluate in about 2 seconds if they really need that next pack, and then reevaluate again on that 4th second whether they need that 3rd pack. Because when you throw all 3, it takes a long time to get your packs back. You can see here, for example, your Sombra needs a pack right now, but you threw all 3 packs at the Reinhardt, and so Ryan's gets 6 seconds of Mercy pocket, like a Mercy beam, and you threw no cookies over here, and you don't have any cookies to throw. So that's one thing. I will say, just on an aside note, that if you're about to die, it's a really good idea to do the exact opposite of what I just said, to actually just throw your packs away, because when you're dead, your packs can continue to heal even if you're dead. So there's no reason to die with packs if you could die with no packs, because you're dead anyway. You'll have all 3 packs back when you get back to the fight. There's a Widow to the right, and you can deal with that. It's a decent rally. I like pushing this Tracer. That's good. Oh, no. Do not get booped off. No, dude. No, dude. No. Oh, no, dude.
This is all part of the learning
That's just unlucky. We're going to say unlucky. Okay, we give him space. We can't make any plays here. We just give him space. Hog doing something interesting over there. That's fine. What we're going to do here is we're going to stand by this corner. We're going to hold up our shield and use the 3rd-person perspective as a sort of like just information. So you're just going to look for information. And you're going to see this ball. And the first thing you're going to note is that if the ball tries to roll this way, you're going to boop him. You're going to definitely boop this ball out, and you're going to keep this ball marked. Even now, you could boop this ball. You don't. Okay. Ball's still there. You want to keep an eye on him. Good. Exactly. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. You throw a pack. Throw 3 packs. You didn't have to throw 3. So I'm going to go back to this. When you throw 1 pack, wait 2 seconds, reevaluate, then throw another pack. All right. Don't throw. Go back a second. Okay. So he needs packs. He's really low, but he's also doing the breather, so he's probably going to be fine. You throw him 1 pack, and we'll reevaluate in a second. The big EMP. Oh, God. Okay. So at some point there, they also, or they used rally, and so even though they got EMP'd, they kind of have the rally still. I wouldn't have minded you trying to walk into here. It's unfortunate that fire strike hit you. Yeah. How much think you can do about that? That's another. It's a lot. It's just 3 packs. Like, you can just throw 1 and then reevaluate and then throw it again. In the meantime, go back. Okay. 1 pack, turn to the ball and boop him.
Så gott som ny.
Because if you boop him, you get Inspire, right? And Inspire stacks with the pack. The pack is 55 per second. The Inspire is 15. Together, it's 70. You can get 70 per second. But right now, you're only given the Sombra 55 per second over a long duration of time. But all you have to do is just whip shot the ball to proc Inspire. And then this Sombra is getting 70 per second rather than 55. No, unlucky. Yeah, I feel like we're just kind of staggering now. Coming out right side. This looks pretty grim. Throw that. Okay, this is a scenario where I don't mind it as much. Going back for a second. All right. Now, this looks really grim. You actually don't know in this moment, like, how long you're going to live. Most of your team is dead. And so throwing 3 packs here, not the worst. Because in your mind, you don't know if you're going to be able to stay alive here or not. You might just die, and it would suck to die with packs. So I don't actually mind that so much. That was fine. So I'll just take one more look at this. Come out here. With your Sigma, you notice you're getting kind of shot from behind. I would try to kite the bullets rather than take the duel. So, like, it's unlucky that you figured you'd go for the duel and then kind of go for this bash. Now you don't have the bash and he's still there, and so that's kind of a problem. Instead, if you kited and used that bash to get around this pillar and kind of played more with your team, then it's on him to, like, hit his shots from back there and not really on you to, like, deal with the angle. And then you can, like, brawl with your team, get the Inspire, keep throwing your packs, smack this person. Like, maybe you actually get a kill over here with your Hog and Sigma. Yeah. Okay, let's just move on. Let's go. All right, you're gonna play Moira, like you said in your post. Some Zen, some Brig, and some Moira. So here is the Moira. Damage orb, I like it. Fade, unnecessary. I would just, instead of, like, being over here, throwing an orb, and then fading over this way, I kind of prefer just being on this side, throwing your orb, and holding fade, and not having to waste it. Just don't waste the fade. Looking behind, I like it. Checking angles. If she's an ice cube, she can't receive your heals. So all that P you just threw on her just did absolutely nothing. Did not heal her at all. So that Tracer behind is kind of something you're going to have to deal with here. Your team is not going to help you much. You should duel that Tracer, though. Because when you use your purple grasp here, this right click, it does 50 damage per second and heals you for 20 damage per second. Sorry, heals you for 20 life per second. It keeps you up while it does damage to her. She can't really, like, duel you super well. If you're about to die, you fade away or orb. You can do either one of those things. If she's about to approach you and she's just hanging out on a flank, you can throw a damage orb at her. Like, a lot of your kit is super good against Tracer. It's just a matter of actually utilizing it and pressuring her so that she doesn't get any value. And I feel extra fine, by the way, with you focusing hard on the Tracer because your other hero is Ana. And if you just puppy dog this Ana and make sure she doesn't die, she can keep your team alive. Ana is plenty able to output enough healing for your team to stay alive. So you are free to be a utility support rather than to be a healing support so much, if that makes sense. So, like, in this scenario, I wouldn't have minded you actually, like, pushing hard on this Tracer. Like, this Tracer got zoned out and zoned in, like, into this direction. Let me go back 5 seconds real quick so you can see. All right, watch the Tracer. She's out, she's out of there. She's over here. She's reloading. What happens, for example, if you actually, like, maybe even went really aggressive and faded into this direction and just took the duel? I wouldn't mind that. Like, she doesn't want to sit here and duel you. That's not what she's here. You know, she's here to kill the Ana. She's not here to duel you on the sideline because she's probably going to lose. And she's, well, at the very least, she's probably not going to get any value. She's probably just going to have to run away. You might not kill her, but she's not going to kill you. That's what I would have preferred to see. Instead, she's kind of sitting on this outline, and you need to be marking her more. Like, you saw her right there, and you could even chase that. It wouldn't even be a bad idea for you to come around this side of the cart when you're a little bit more stable, and use the cart as a ramp to fade jump up to the high ground and start dueling the tracer. Right. At least then you're actually contesting this high ground. Right now, no one on your team is contesting this high ground, and that in particular is pretty weird to me to see in this elo. This elo should contest high grounds a lot more. Wrong side. No, you need to fade the other way. I know the dragon's here, but you need to fade this way because your team is this way. And now you're isolated with no fade. So the reason why this is in particular is bad compared to some of the other fades I was suggesting. Like, I was suggesting fading to the high ground to duel the tracer, or fading into the back here aggressively this way. And that's not the same as what you did here, because this is fading into a position where you've isolated yourself from your team with also being exposed to the enemy team, like multiple people from the enemy team. They can just turn and look at you and kill you because you don't have fade. So that misses some shots. Tracer's now on you. That moment, by the way, where you like run back to your team here, absolutely, you could have stolen the mega from Tracer. Go back a second. Watch. This moment where... Okay, I don't think you had fade in that exact moment. Hold on a second. You're still waiting. Yeah, because you faded into open space, you didn't have fade yet. Ideally, if you could have stolen that mega from her, you would 100%, you could win that duel. Honestly, even with her taking it, because it's not like she gained much health from it. She was already almost full. And it's not like you weren't in any position to duel her. You could still duel her there. I would have probably taken the duel. Yeah, if you're going to fade, then fade. But what you don't want to do, watch. Slow it down. Okay, here's what you don't want to do. You do not want to throw the orb and then fade away from your orb. All right, watch. You have both your cooldowns right now. And so your idea is you're going to be on 84 health right now. You're going to throw a healing orb. All right. And then you're going to fade out. Okay. Now, what happens when you fade is that the orb no longer connects to you, and then kind of releases itself from you. Let's kind of pull out to this direction. Okay. So you throw the orb and then you fade. All right. So you're fading, and this whole time you're fading, you're staying on super low health. The orb doesn't connect to you anymore. And now you're on very low health. You don't have the orb. You don't have fade. And all it takes now is the tracer to blink this way and sneeze on you, and you're dead. Very, very close to death there. Extremely close to death. You're down 2. You're down 2. Do not use coalescence. You want to wait till you have like teammates available. You don't want to be 2 down in coalescence. Team, they're coming back. I've seen worse coalescences, especially considering you did actually kill the Zarya with it. So now it's looking like a 5v5. So not the worst. Not bad. Getting grabbed there sucks. Getting grabbed dragoned really sucks. Okay. I like that little fade jump you did up here. Up to here. I don't know that I would have just given it away immediately because you kind of just dropped after that. But if you hung out here for a second, you don't have to be down there to heal them from here. I want to let you know that Moira looks like she's this super close range healer that can only heal like right up close to people. But look at this little mist you've got going on here. Look how long it goes. You see that? It's actually 15 meters. It's 3 meters longer than Lucio's aura. From here, if I'm right here and I'm shooting my mist at that brig, and that brig was on my team, I could heal my brig from here as Moira. It's really long. It's deceptively long. Like, it's longer than you think it is. It's 15 meters. So you don't have to drop off that high ground. You could wait for your 6-second fade cooldown to come back, and then you could come over to this high ground. You can still heal from over here. You can be like up here and heal your team and like try to zone this tracer out, for example, from up here with a nice vantage. And as your team starts to get like over here, get some more space, then you can actually fade over to this high ground. Like, they kind of like work with each other, right? And you could be up here now. And now you've got like nice angles, and you can absolutely play flanking Moira with Ana Moira. Ana Moira, 100%, you are free to not be a heal bot. But instead, it looks like you are being a lot of a heal bot. A lot of like healing orbs is what I'm seeing. A lot of healing orbs when I should be seeing like somewhere around, I would say 70% damage orb, 30% healing orb is kind of like the more appropriate amount of like orb allocation. But I'm, instead of seeing like 70% damage and 30% healing, I'm seeing like 90% healing, 10% damage. I've seen very few damage orbs. What you want to do with these damage orbs is zone out this tracer. Like this tracer's, for example, wherever she's going to be. Right now she's up here. Like if you had stayed in this area and you had been like up here, then you could see this tracer and you could just throw like a damage orb at her. She's not going to stick around, right? So you throw the damage orb at her. What she's probably going to do is use that as an opportunity to take the duel. She'd probably blink over to you. Instead of maybe instead of damage orbing her here because the orb just goes away, you just like right click and use this pillar and kind of just like jiggle right here with the right click, force her to either leave or come over here. And if she does come over here, now you can either throw a healing orb at the ground and be under a ceiling here where it goes up and down and you're invincible, or you can throw a damage orb up and down from the ceiling, and then she cannot stand here and fight you. She has to just leave. She has to leave or recall. She probably recalls, and she's back over here, and you can just keep zoning her, right? So lots of things you could do here, but what I'm seeing instead is a lot of staying on the low ground and only throwing healing orbs and doing a lot of healing. Okay, that was good for a second there. That was really good. As soon as you see her go that direction, I wouldn't mind like chasing that. Like she's got a mega, sure. Just don't let her like prod your side angles so much, because you could be doing something about that. That fade was not necessary. Like that fade, you were not under any pressure at all, and there was no pressure for you really. Like you wanted to get closer to Mei, but notice how Mei is healed by the time you got here. It's because your Ana has it, and it's such proof, like proof of concept that you do not need to be a heal bot. Your Ana has that. You're good on the healing. Like that could have been an aggressive fade towards this tracer to keep her off of your side lane, but instead you're up here healing someone who doesn't need healed, and now you don't have fade. Your tracer's in the back line. You're not pressuring the tracer. Okay, yeah, your team is really far forward here. That's not your fault. You're able to get the payload there, though. That's nice. Creation of recall is nice. Finishing the brig is nice. That's good. Throwing another healing orb there was unnecessary. I'm going to go back a second. I want you to watch that. Okay. You could have just healed her. You didn't have to throw the orb. The orb there is now an 8-second cooldown, and you could have just did a little bit of P and then kept your orb. Your orb could have been a damage orb to deal with the fact that I think you still have a tracer. Yeah, so this tracer could have been dealt with an orb, right? So she's coming around this corner. If she comes around this corner and you're properly marking the tracer, you could throw a damage orb down this, and as soon as you throw that damage orb, she has to either full commit onto you to get away from the orb or go into here, and then you know exactly where she is. Then as soon as she dips into there to like maybe pick up that mega, then you can aggressively fade into her and then start killing her. Like you can take the duel. You hear the tracer on the right. You have to be the one that kind of marks her.
I require assistance.
Yeah. No. Stay on her, stay on her, stay on the tracer, stay on the tracer. You're not looking at the tracer. Like, what's the point in looking forward? What information are you getting? Like, just casually walking forward, ignoring. Like this, you look back for a second, you didn't see her, and then you just like la da 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 da, butt scratching, not doing anything, da 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 da. Where's the tracer? I don't give a shit. But you should give a shit. Like, this damage orb you're about to throw, or maybe healing orb, I don't know, should be placed at the tracer. Keep the tracer zoned out. Like, I know this hog is kind of doing that, but like, imagine if the hog didn't have to. Imagine if the hog was making sure the enemy team didn't get any foothold on this insanely powerful high ground. Instead, he's back here trying to deal with the tracer that you're not dealing with. And Tracer can juke a hog way easier than he can, or way easier than she can juke a Moira. Because anytime Tracer tries to juke a Moira, Moira can fade. But Hog has no movement, so Hog can't really keep on it as easily. Okay. This is very conservative. You could Cole here. Nice Cole. Really close to getting hooked there. Hey, nice Cole though. That was good. That really kind of turned the fight around for your team. There's Tracer. It's all you. Yeah. Oh, you can kill this Hanzo. He can't hit you. Nice. Awesome. Here, see that Tracer over there? That's you. That's your meat. That's your fucking dinner. You go eat that shit. That's yours. That belongs to you. Don't know. What? What the fuck was that orb? What is that? It should have been a damage orb thrown at the Tracer. You know, like, the Tracer is still back here. There she is. Still back there. Just thrown out there. Yeah, it's a lot of healing orbs. It sucks being pinned to that little pillar. Where's the Tracer? She's right there. Nice, we got her. Okay, cool. Oh, that sucks. Rip. You have time right now? Like, I just throw a damage orb. Throw the damage orb against this wall, and it bounces off this wall and kind of like bounces, and it keeps like bouncing everywhere. Just bounce it in a nice area like that. You could also throw the damage orb through here, hit this wall, and it would like hit this wall, and it would kind of do a little bit of bouncy bounce, maybe eventually go out here, hopefully. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, just kind of throw it into a lane and deny the lane. Or mark the Tracer, throw the damage orb at the Tracer. Instead, we're going to throw a healing orb. Okay, this could be good. Definitely finished off the Ana. Nice. Gotta finish this guy off. What was that? Definitely a very panicked player here. Take a moment and just breathe. You can do this. I don't know that you needed that fade. You definitely like blow cooldowns when you're panicked. That Lucio needs to die. No. All your focus on this Lucio right now. This is the moment where you throw a healing orb at your team so that you can not focus on them as much and go back to the Lucio. Like, make sure the Lucio is being pressured constantly. And now the Lucio dies. Now you can push the cart forward. Manage to kill the Tracer. That's good. We're gonna get point. Nice. All right. Make sure. Okay, that's the beginning. Getting purpled there kind of sucks. I would just start off by throwing a damage orb at the Hanzo specifically. Our hog just gets a kill. That's nice. That's such an opportunity. Like, you have the fade and you can go up there. It's a little bit risky. Maybe I wouldn't do that because the Hanzo's over there. So I guess maybe not. But yeah, definitely keep marking this Tracer. Every time she peaks even a little bit, she's taking 50 damage per second from your purple. 100%. This is the moment where you could, for example, maybe not tuck yourself in there. But yeah, this is a little awkward. Maybe just stay right here in good cover and just keep an eye on the Tracer. Now you're out of P. So what you want to do is find a target to flicker your right click. So Tracer, good example. She's right there. You can flicker it on her, and if you flicker it, you'll gain your P a little bit faster than if you just hold the button down. It'll do a little bit less damage, but for some reason you'll get more P quicker. Yeah, mark her more. Look at her more. That Zen is looking at you. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. I don't mind that fade. Yeah, get the Tracer. That's worth pursuing. Okay. Wow, okay. Oh, okay. That was close.
Coalescence is charging.
Nice. I like the little rollout you do. It's nice. But you never stay up there, which is kind of sad. This is bad. Go back to your team. Go back to your team. Go back to your team. Okay. Yeah. Not surprised. Roadhog will punish out of position. Oh, nice. Keep on alive. Nice. Zone the Tracer out. Nice hook. That was huge from Chief Keep. Look at Zen. Look at Zen. Your team is fine. You look. Go back a second. All right. All right. Hold on. And here's the healing orb. And I want you to pay attention. All right. Look up here. Who needs it? Who needs the heal orb? Nobody. Everyone is full. Don't need to throw it. Okay. Instead, let's imagine that you have faded out immediately, went here, and, okay, don't die to the Hanzo, but throw a damage orb at the Hanzo. Then ask yourself, if you're the Hanzo player, are you sticking around? The answer is no. So this Hanzo, you throw a damage orb in this general direction, right? Is he going to int into your team and die? Or is he going to go back across the bridge and stand probably not even back that way because the orb will be coming at him. He'll probably dash and use a cooldown to go near this lamp. And now you've bought yourself just a lot of space because this Hanzo is no longer sitting on this angle waiting for someone. Like maybe, for example, that Symmetra who might just get domed by this Hanzo right now. Instead, he'd be dashing this way and not doming your Symmetra potentially. Okay, I don't actually mind that. This is fine. You want to go to the high ground, maybe?
Get into position.
Okay, no aspirations for high ground. I'm gonna kill this hog as quick as possible to get the point. Go back a second. What was this healing orb? Just kind of throwing a healing orb. Okay. Not quite able to make it up there, unfortunate. He's fine. He's fine. Notice that your Ana is perfectly capable of keeping your team topped up. You can be way more aggressive. Okay. Nice fade. Unfortunate for your Ana. Ow. 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 You did the thing again where you used a healing orb and then immediately faded out of it. I'm trying to do that. You choose one or the other. You're either playing to heal yourself up, because now notice you can only heal yourself with the healing orb, but you put it on cooldown, and you use the fade so you don't have a getaway. So now they can call Moira new cooldowns, and you're dead if they do that. Well, not maybe not dead, but like in some other situations you'll be dead, because it looks like you kind of have this fight. You're not really on the back foot, but still, it's a bad habit to use both. Wow, that fucking blows. Holy shit. Wait a minute. No way. That fucking blows. Oh, it's so bad. No, dude. Oof. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that I think you should be up here. I think you should hold this. The reason I think you should hold this is because if you think about just like think about plays that you're gonna make as a team and plays that they're gonna make as a team, right? What approach could they use to defeat what you're doing? Now, before I just say take the top, let me see kind of what your team is doing. I guess May wants to get her Sig up here, but Sig's not really about it. May jumps off. Okay. So it looks like Hog is the only one up here. It's not terrible. It means that if they commit one person to coming up top and to try to take this high ground, then they have to 1v1 a Hog, which isn't happening. So Hog can 1v1 pretty much anyone. Almost, pretty much. So it's not the worst, but it would still be cool if you were up here as well. So Ana, she's way back here. This is a super safe position for Ana to be in. Against the ball tracer though, there's a lot of rollouts that can be kind of annoying for Ana here, because they can generally, like, ball and tracer will get around to starting off their play by first getting control of the mega, and then they'll go further from there. And especially if she's aiming through scope, which she's likely going to, they're going to see the bullet trail, then they're come up here and she's going to be isolated. Easy money for the ball tracer to deal with. This, not great. I put the Ana like closer to here, or like down here, like behind this little thing. She can just see things better, and she's way more peelable. So that, not great. But if she is going to play there, maybe you keep an eye on this lane over here. Maybe you warn her. But yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. You see, I like that you. Oh, that's good that you looked at the Ana just to see where she is. That's good. Okay, that's really scary. Your Hog is up there and kind of dying, it looks like. Yeah, to the Hanzo and the Tracer. Hog gonna get pushed off the top here, and this is gonna be kind of annoying. So let's imagine just for a moment if you were up here, kind of like I suggested, where you were up here with the Hog. Then they couldn't just take two people and storm the Hog. He could have stayed up here because you would be up here with him. You as a Hog Moira can absolutely duo against the enemy duo here, the DPS players. You can kill them both. But instead, they push the Hog off the high ground, and now they have the high ground. This Hanzo holding this high ground, look how strong that is. Like, that's so strong. It just means that your team is kind of locked into here, and if they start walking backwards into Garden, then Sigma better be ready with that shield, because they're about to take some big arrows to the face. It makes your retreat really dangerous, and so you're kind of locked underneath that. Immediate healing orb. I mean, your Sigma is playing really aggressive, so I kind of see why you're doing that. It'd be nice if you threw a little bit more damage, though. There's another healing orb. So at this point, you could. It's a tough little play. You actually can fade roll out off of the cart, and you can land up here and take a duel. It's like a pretty stellar Moira play. You have to like know and be very confident with your fade rollouts, even like a 180 fade rollout. So maybe it is a little bit too much to ask. I don't know. DMAC here. Okay, so you're trying to like heal for your soldier a little bit, but you're in open space. That's really rough. So you fade all the way over here into the open and almost die. You still might die. We fade back towards our Ana to try to keep her alive. Tracer really playing a lot against the Ana right now. You want to keep an eye on that Tracer. Okay, so you got to put people looking at her. Looking to keep your Sigma alive here against the enemy Sigma. Okay. Keep looking behind. More often than that, though. More often. Now your May's down, and you know where your May was, right? Okay. So then if you know in the kill feed where May was, and that she died, and that Tracer killed her, then you know Tracer's in that same similar area, which she is. So now you know Tracer is to your right. Probably going to high ground. And I make that big of a deal about kind of like where the Tracer was because you are really trying to mark that Tracer, by the way. Now she's behind you. You absolutely fade into that Tracer and fight her. 100%. Instead, I hear a hog behind you. No. What the fuck was that? Oh, he's going for this guy. Okay. Yeah, get on the Tracer. Get on that Tracer. Your tanks are way too aggressive here. It's not your fault that your tanks are too aggressive there. They would be on that Tracer. Nice kill. Shit, good shit, good shit. Tracer. Nice! You got him. You did it again. You threw the orb and you faded, and now you don't have the orb, and you don't have the fade. So, okay, your Ana did heal you up there, but you were at 115, and without Ana there, you would have been left at 115, no healing orb. And you could have just faded, no orb.
Get into position.
Activating the barrier.
This whole time, go back 5 seconds when you threw that. Hold on. See this orb? You were in that perfect spot. What you could have done, throw the orb down this lane and just not long of a peek, right? Because you don't want to peek against the Widow, but just throw the orb. It gets you ult charge and it damages them. It forces them to use a movement ability to get away from it, slows down their tempo, use a healing ability to offset the damage they just took. Like all kinds of things it does.
Get into position.
Said we threw a healing orb that bounced off the wall, and notice, I want to go one more time here. One more time. 9% ult charge. Okay. Make this really clear. 9%.
Get into position.
It did heal Beowulf a little bit, and you're at now 10%. Okay. 10%. A damage orb can give you about 10 to 11%. A healing orb at best efficiency can give you about 15% ult charge. So that orb was very bad. Like you could have just thrown the orb as a damage orb this direction, and it would have gotten you way more than that 1% ult charge. Definitely looking to just deny lanes, not deny I shouldn't say, but to make it hotter to sit in a lane, harder to sit in a lane for the enemy team, and just kind of zone people out a little bit is what you're wanting to do with the Moira orb. That's why you have to mark the Tracer, because you can't do that unless you know where the Tracer is and actively watch her constantly. This just feels so bad. Like, honestly, if you get pressured, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to fade somewhere. And I guess you can fade into this room maybe with the mini, but look where you are. You're kind of trapped, right? They're wrapping their claws around your position. Your position is so forward, and they're just coming at you from many different angles. They got the high ground, they got the main, they got the side angle with the hog coming at you. Like, you are so close to death, and you were going to have to fade at any moment. And what I don't want to see you do is fade into the open space, because if you do, they've still got all these angles against you, and then you're in open space. Being in open space means that you're more likely to die, and you don't have natural cover. So you're going to have to do something here. You also could go for this mega. So if you get pressured here, you could fade out to this mega maybe. That was a healing orb thrown at the enemy Sigma. Okay, so we're kind of in open space. This is really weird. Really risky, really risky. You get body shot by a Widow. Trying to keep your Sigma alive. Throwing your orbs down to the ground to have them last a little longer. Nice. You got to fade back over here into this, again, this like really precarious situation, a little precarious positioning. But, I mean, you kind of stabilize. It looks like your hog is winning at least the 1v1, which is nice. That's making a big deal here. The Tracer's on your backline. You got to be on the Tracer right now. You have to be on the Tracer right now. Yep. Yes. We're alive. Nice. That's good. Okay, your Ana's dead from the Widow. That's not good. Widow's up in the upper right. Where's the Tracer? There she is. This is very aggressive. This is a big blizzard. Back. Okay, she's low, but he's frozen. You should consider just doing the damage here, making sure it happens faster. A healer after. There's Tracer. No recall. There's the Tracer. Mark the Tracer. Mark the Tracer. Mark the Tracer. Where is she? Where's the Tracer? Oh, they're on fire now. Where's the Tracer? Are you trying to keep your hog up? Okay, keeping the hog up is fine there. Wow. Okay. I wish I could have seen more of your other heroes. I only say that because Moira is not really the hero you want to try to be climbing on. That's like, this is a lot of good advice, I think, from Moira play, but I think that you need to also work on other heroes, because Moira is not going to be the key to climbing out of Platinum into Diamond and sticking with, like, it's just not the hero. Not in Overwatch 1. In Overwatch 2, I'd say, yeah, that's a good one. In Overwatch 1, it's really just kind of only in rush comps like Ryan Rush or Winston Rush, and that's not, it's not good in comp. It's good in scrim, not good in comp. So you want to be learning like other supports. Playing the Brig there a little bit was nice to see, and I would try to carry your Brig and your Zen a little bit harder. This would have been a good opportunity as well to play Mercy potentially. Mercy's even a little bit more viable than Moira right now. If I'm gonna mention a couple things to think about, I guess on each hero, I did not get to see enough Zen to really make a lot of notes, but try to be really playing angles a lot harder. Really think about angles rather than just being with your team. You're not just with your team. You need to be like positioned pretty far away. And you want to be looking for volleys constantly. You want to predict where the enemy team is going to be and throw volleys at their face, kind of like as they're about to approach you from that angle, and it just immediately zones them out. You want to be always difficult to dive on, and you kind of achieve that by just being on high grounds constantly. With the exception of that right in the beginning there on defense, as I was suggesting, to be on that little hallway. That's also a pretty good place to be on Rialto. High ground is kind of a generic term in that sense, not to be confused with the beginning of Rialto defense, where that position is actually really good for Zen. Let's see. That's really as much as I saw on Zen, because I think I really only witnessed it for one lost fight. Then after that, looking at the Brig, I feel like you switched to the Brig to try to deal with the Tracer and the ball a lot, but you didn't actually deal with the ball and the Tracer that much. You switched to the hero and then didn't really focus on them. And it seems like you're not doing a whole lot by constantly focusing on the flankers, but that's exactly how you get value. You get value by just simply existing. If you just get those whip shots off and you just get those procs, you get the boops at the right time, then you can throw off their dives, throw off their tempo, all their momentum, and you don't have to do very much to be doing a lot. And that's kind of the idea. Do more of the sitting on a wall with your shield and using third person perspective to look around a corner safely and get information. Like, do that more often, because I didn't see any of that. When it comes to Moira, I think that you threw way too many healing orbs. You healed too much, especially with when you're playing double flex support, meaning you have like Moira alongside of an Ana or a BAP. Then the Ana or the BAP can actually keep the team alive for the most part, while you are to be a utility support in that case. You don't actually want to run like 2 flex supports without one of them being more utility. And by utility, I mean less of a heal bot and more of like using the rest of your kit to do other things than just be a heal bot. So in that case, you actually could have taken so many more duels with a Tracer because you had another flex support on your team that can keep your team alive. And you kind of didn't. You just did a lot of heal botting so that you didn't actually like zone out the Tracer a whole lot. Even though you are really good at it, like your Moira is very good at like zoning out a Tracer, I didn't feel like you were marking the Tracer enough. Like, you would watch the Tracer in their backline and you would look at her for a second, but as soon as she was out of your vision, you turned your camera away and you didn't pay attention anymore. It's like you just didn't give a shit anymore. And the thing is that you kind of should, and it is actually not that bad of a thing to like aggressively fade into a Tracer. I think you should try to grow your confidence in dueling Tracers. Work on maybe your strafe pattern and your like crouch strafing against her so that she doesn't like hit very clean shots against you, and utilize your cooldowns to just take duels. If you can take duels with Tracer with both your cooldowns, then I think you'll find that you're more successful than not. And you will find success in just like keeping the Tracers away, making sure that they have no value. And eventually you'll find that the Tracer players, if you start countering them enough and marking them enough, they're just going to switch off Tracer, and you don't have to deal with the Tracer anymore. You can either continue to play Moira, or you can just switch off to somebody else. You can go back to like Zen or something, and if she swaps back to Tracer, you go back to Moira and start shitting on her again. And yeah, it just allows you to just, I don't know, counter heroes, get people off of their mains. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you, and I hope you can get that last 100 SR. Good luck.